Hey everybody, I thought it'd be helpful for me to show you and walk you through the way that we edit videos for TikTok and Facebook. So I'm going to jump straight into it. Today we're going to be editing a video of my business partner, Daniel, at Qvolt Solar. And essentially what I do is we'll script out what he's going to say.
G'day guys, it is Dan here from Qvolt Solar.
He's too early. We'll script out what he's going to say, put it in a Word document, and then he'll go and shoot the video, and then he'll send the raw file to us for mostly Christine to do the editing. So I'm going to do my best to do Christine's job today. But we do that for all of our clients, right? So we come up with a script, formulate the script, they deliver it in whatever templates and formats that we need, and then into the editing software. So editing software that we're using today is Wondershare, Filmora. You can use whatever you're comfortable with. Really, all we use this for is to layer video clips, to clip them, trim them, and put them together and display them in different formats. That's about it. Just about any video editing software that's recent will do this. So this is the raw video file, which I'll play for you, and hopefully you can hear it.
G'day guys, it is Dan here from Qvolt Solar. Today I'm going to talk to you about solar rebates and solar feed-in tariffs, okay? Many of you are still getting these two confused. A solar feed-in tariff is the surplus energy that is left over from your solar system that you don't use that goes back to the grid, and you get paid for that, okay? The solar rebate is what you get for purchasing solar from the government, and that can range from about $3,000 all the way up to around $15,000, okay? So if this sounds like you and you want to find out how much you're eligible for, click on the link below and we're sure to help you out. Thank you.
So that was actually pretty good. That's not going to require much trimming, but anyway, let me just kind of, you can be a fly on the wall and I'll show you how we sort of do this. So we'll take this video, match to media. Obviously we'd clip the start.
G'day guys, it's Dan here from Qvolt Solar. Today
So what I'm going to do is just eliminate the intro because no one really cares who we are. If we're seeing it for the first time, they only want to know what's in it for them.
Today I'm going to talk to you about solar rebates and solar feed-in tariffs.
So that's our hook essentially. So let's keep going. Okay, so I'm going to clip here just so it flows better.
And solar feed-in tariffs.
So after he finishes tariffs, I'm going to split and unnecessary dialogue in there. Monologue probably.
Today I'm going to talk to you about solar rebates and solar feed-in tariffs. Many of you are still getting these.
So does that make sense? Like when you're editing your videos, you want to eliminate the dead space or unnecessary space in there because you've got to remember people have short attention spans, shorter than ever, and you want to get to the points to help them and the benefits faster.
Feed-in tariffs. Many of you are still getting these two confused.
So right there's a space I'm going to delete.
Still getting these two confused.
So we're going to there we go. Now we can do some other editing things and like zoom in and out, which I'll show you. You don't have to use them though.
Getting these two confused. A solar feed-in tariff is the surplus energy that is left over from your solar system that you don't use that goes back to the grid, and you get paid for that, okay?
Okay, so
for that.
Get rid of okay. You do this with ums as well. Daniel's actually done really well. Doesn't do much ums at all these days.
And you get paid for that. The solar rebate is what you get for purchasing solar from the government. And that can range from about $3,000 all the way up to around $15,000. Okay?
Okay. So his okay is his by the way. Everyone has something.
$15,000. All the way up to around $15,000.
I'm going to bring in the $1,000.
All the way up to around $15,000.
And in here.
$1,000. So if this sounds like you and you want to find out how much you're eligible for, click on the link below and we're sure to help you out. Thank you.
The end. So that was a 45-second clip that we've now clipped down to 33 seconds, albeit the intro was silent to begin with. But you get my drift, right? What you're looking to do with video editing and producing, if you want, is eliminating the dead space, the ums, unnecessary words, just so you can get it as small as you possibly can, but not at the expense of what you're trying to deliver, the message, right? So what's next? I will show you kind of a little effect that you can do to keep engagement. Do you know what might be a helpful exercise? Just give me a sec here. So what I'm going to show you is keyframing. So really simple way to hold engagement is to zoom in after you finished a sentence and then zoom out after you finish that sentence or something along those sort of lines. Use it if you want. You don't have to, but it does help. So we use keyframing in one to share here. And then if we just go 120%, you'll see that it's zoomed in on Daniel now. So this is what it looks like.
In tariffs. Many of you are still getting these two.
So really simple way to hold engagement, but also make the transition feel better. This is really important for TikTok ads and I mean for Facebook ads as well, to be fair. But again,
rebates and solar feed-in tariffs. Many of you are still getting these two confused. A solar,
and then it pulls back out as he goes into his next line. Just such a simple way to hold engagement. So I'm going to go through and look for more places to do keyframing, which is really just intuitive.
Feed-in tariff,
but usually at the end of what he's saying, and he's tied that up.
Tariff is the surplus energy that is left over from your solar system that you don't use that goes back to the grid.
Cool. And we'll split that and we'll keyframe into that because this is an important part of, and you get paid for that, which is what he's going to say. So we go, okay.
You don't use that goes back to the grid and you get paid for that. The solar rebate.
That makes sense. So you can start to see how that works really well on the whole. I don't understand the words, but it makes sense to me. But the whole cinematography and feel of how this is running, that flows really well.
Is what you get for purchasing solar from the government. And that can range from about $3,000 all the way up to around $15,000. So if this sounds like you.
$15,000. So that's a bit abrupt, but I'm going to leave it anyway. We're not perfectionists over here. We need to see whether this creative works first.
Up to around $15,000. So if this sounds like you.
So I'm going to keyframe on the end. 120 again.
$1,000 all the way up to around $15,000. So if this sounds like you,
cool,
and you want to find out how much you're eligible for, click on the link below and we're sure to help you out. Thank you.
Cool. And so that's pretty well the raw file done. What I'm going to do next is, which you don't have to do, like I want to add some subtitles or subtitles to it. I really like using the Instagram story subtitles, which is a bit annoying because what's going to happen is you have to download it onto the phone, upload it to Instagram stories, but add captions, make sure they're correct, and then download them as separate 15-second videos. So this works primarily well with videos under a minute because, as you know, Instagram stories, you can only upload a minute at a time. And so then we have to download those 4 videos, drop it back in here, clip it together, and make adjustments for any errors in clipping, which I'll show you in a second. And then we've got more or less a finished product for the most part. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. We'll export this one. All right, so I've got Daniel's video on the phone here. I'm going to upload that into Instagram stories. We're not going to post this, by the way. This is what it comes up like, yeah. So see the 3 little bits down the bottom left. Sorry, my screen's so greasy. You can only do a minute at a time, so you only ever get 4 of those. But then you have to add captions to each of those segments, right? So I feel like an Instagram coach all of a sudden. But anyway, what we'll do is we'll go here and then we will click on, I'm not going to be able to do this and look at it at the same time. I'm going to click on that like little box up there. Click on that. And then we'll go to captions, which is about here. And then it's got to auto-generate captions, right? Transcribe. And so these are the captions I love using, these big blocky ones. And so I'm going to just move it down to a place that makes sense, which I'm going to put over Daniel's chest, like that. So it's just out of the way, but we can still connect with the video and the presenter, I should say. And then I'm going to click on the caption. It's going to click on it again, and I'm going to be able to go through and edit any mistakes where it hasn't picked up correctly. So I'm going to do that now. All right, so I've added captions to all of these. Next is really just to save them. So for most phones, I think it's going to be in the top right. You'll see the dots. Click on that, and then you'll see save. So I have to save all of these individually. So this is where it gets a bit tedious, but hey, we want good ads, right? now it's all saved to my mobile device. I need to put that back onto my computer, so reconnect my phone. Cool, now they're on the PC. What I'm going to do is drop the video that I've made and then drop these ones on top, the ones with the captions. So I'll show you why I'm going to do that in a second.
Today I'm going to...
Is because you'll notice that Instagram clips these, unfortunately. So see how that actually should be a perfect alignment, but it's like a second off, unfortunately. So let me show you what that looks like.
That you don't use, that goes back to the grid, and you get paid for that.
So you can hear it there in the audio, there's a mismatch, but I mean, the captions are great, so we do this anyway. So what will happen is we just need to move that up a bit, I think. So like this.
Use, that goes back to the grid, and you get paid for that.
Okay, so now I need to align it correctly, like this.
Back to the grid, and you get paid for that.
Okay, there we go. Now, there's two audios running at the moment with the same delivery if you want. I'm going to mute one of them, but I just want to align these perfectly first. I think that's it there.
Back to the grid, and you get paid for that.
Cool. So you see what I'm doing there, right? If you're going to use these Instagram story captions, which I think you definitely should, and it's so time saving, believe it or not, once you understand this process, is that you just have to allocate for these little gaps, and it's your original file that will pick up the slack, right? So let's go forward. There's going to be one more bit that I have to do, which already has a gap. That's interesting. See what that looks like?
And you want to find out how much...
No, that's not it. That's it there. You can see the audio waves actually help you align them as well.
And you want to find out how much you're eligible for, click on the link below and it's sure to help you out. Thank you.
Okay, I'm happy.
Today I'm going to talk...
Whoops. So let's mute all of the Instagram ones. I have a special button over here. I can do it. So I'm going to mute the Instagram stories and use the original file audio.
To find out how much you're eligible for, click on the link below and we're sure to help you out.
Cool. Now let's watch that.
Today I'm going to talk to you about solar rebates and solar feed-in tariffs. Many of you are still getting these two confused. A solar feed-in tariff is the surplus energy that is left over from your solar system that you don't use that goes back to the grid, and you get paid for that. The solar rebate is what you get for purchasing solar from the government, and that can range from about $3,000 all the way up to around $15,000. So if this sounds like you and you want to find out how much you're eligible for, click on the link below and we're sure to help you out. Thank you.
And that's that. So that's pretty well that ad ready to go, that video ad. I mean, we can add some fancy, engaging captions in there, not to be confused with subtitles, but captions where it says, you know, in the context of this video, solar feed-in tariffs versus government rebates, because that's what we're talking about, as a big, bold kind of header. We could do that. But as I export this video, that's pretty well good to go. So we upload it into Facebook Ads Manager, upload it into TikTok Ads Manager, and that's that. A lot of these talking head style videos or selfie videos, we are presenting about your service or your product even. This is a very standard way to do it. To be able to achieve an engaging ad, utilizing the keyframing, the zooming in and out, as I mentioned before, as well as the subtitles. And, you know, we've got this down to a science. I think it'd take no more than about 10 minutes to edit and produce it ready for ads. So, yeah, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, see you soon.